Hi everyone, it's Lisa with InkandInspirations.com. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, I wanted to share a card made with this Wonderland set. I'm having a really hard time letting go of using some of my holiday stamps, so I'd like to share some with you in this video showing this Wonderland set used on a birthday card that I needed for January. So to start with, I have a Mossy Meadow base cut at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2 to fold there. And then I have a textured piece of crumb cake, this cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and I ran it through the Big Shot with my Textured Impressions embossing folder, the wood grain one, and got a really pretty texture, and that is going to be the top layer. But let's do some stamping with these Wonderland images. These trees are beautiful, and I used them on a Christmas card, and I thought I have got to do a card with them for something other than holiday. So I've got Mossy Meadow ink, a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock cut at 2 by 5 1/4, and I am going to ink up my stamp and stamp right in the center here toward the bottom. Then I'm going to just stamp over here without re-inking again, and then here, just to give a little background image. And now I'm going to take my triple banner punch, and I'm going to slide this in and just punch and get a banner there at the bottom. Okay, and that's ready to go. And so now I have a piece of crumb cake, and I wanted to do some accent pieces with my washi label punch. So I stamped off, inked it up in Mossy Meadow again, stamped off, and then stamped on the crumb cake. And I'm going to use the washi label punch and just punch out a section of that. And then I am going to take the little antlers and punch a 1 1/4 inch circle punch of that, inking it up with Early Espresso first, and I'm just going to use a scrap piece, and then I'm sorry, it's the 1 3/4 because it needs to be big enough to go around the antlers there. And then for both of these little pieces, I could take and use a sponge, and just to give it a little accent and shadowing around the edges, I'm going to sponge around this and also the antlers and set that aside. And then I'm also going to use the Designer Vellum Wonderland paper stack, and I'm using this one with the trees that match the stamp set. And I'm just going to slide this down and punch. I want some of those trees in there. And I'm going to use that for an accent. And I'm also going to sponge around the edges of that to tie it all in. Now this vellum stack, as well as the Wonderland set, has not sold out yet as of this recording, so you can still get this in the online store under the retiring items. Okay, so now I have that. I have my antlers and these two pieces here. Now I wanted to add a little bit from the new catalog, just a sneak peek. So I've already done another piece, and if you can see the little sparkly, that was added with the gold Wink of Stella brush. It is gorgeous, and I'll be sure to show you a video on how I did this technique. I did it on that piece as well as the little antlers to give it a little accent. So I'm going to take these and set them aside for another card. I've also wanted a birthday sentiment, and so I stamped this Happy Birthday to You, which is from the new Starburst Saying set that will be in the Occasions catalog along with that Wink of Stella pen, and punch that out, and that is with my 1 1/4 inch circle punch. So now let's assemble the card. I'm going to work on the layer first. Let me take a little bit of Fast Fuse And I'm just going to put this up here toward the right. Okay, and then I'm going to take my antlers, and I want to add some fibers and thread behind this, so I'm using a piece of the gold metallic thread. Now this is in the actual big annual catalog. So I'm going to take this and just go around, and this will stick out from behind the circle. And then I want to take a little piece of linen thread and do the same thing, and this adds to the masculine look of the card and also goes with that wood grain and the crumb cake. And then I'm going to use some Stampin' dimensionals and get that ready to pop up on the card. But first I'm going to add those little washi label punched pieces, which will be coming out behind the circle. So I'm just going to layer those right here. And then again a little bit of fast fuse there. And now I can apply the circle here. And then I'll take the sentiment and pop that right there. And that will layer on top of the card base for a nice masculine themed birthday card. Okay, if you don't have this set, be sure you head on over to the online store. It won't be available for much longer. I believe January 4th is the last day for the holiday catalog. And these two are only available while supplies last. That's this stamp set and this vellum here. So thanks for joining me today, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.